You wake up when your body is ready. No alarm, no schedule, no place you need to be. For 99% of human history, this was not a hypothetical lifestyle choice. This was every single morning for roughly 300,000 years. Your ancestors opened their eyes to a world where time was measured by the movement of the sun, not the frantic ticking of a digital clock. They did not wake up with a knot of ambient dread tightening in their stomach about unread messages, looming project deadlines, or rent payments. Today, the modern world is facing a psychological collapse. According to data from the World Health Organization, hundreds of millions of people globally suffer from anxiety and depression, a staggering statistic that rises every single year. You live in an era of unprecedented physical comfort, yet your mind feels constantly under siege. You are trapped in a hyper-connected, deeply lonely matrix of modern survival where your brain is permanently flooded with cheap dopamine and survival stress. Why does the wealthiest, most advanced generation in human history feel so profoundly broken inside? The answer lies buried deep in your evolutionary past. There is a common modern bias that prehistoric life was nothing but a brutal, terrifying nightmare of short lives and constant misery. We are taught to believe that early humans were too busy running from saber-toothed cats to ever experience peace of mind. But real anthropological data completely destroys this misconception. Your ancestors were not miserable brutes. In many ways, their emotional baseline was far healthier, more grounded, and more resilient than yours will ever be. Consider the groundbreaking work of anthropologist Richard Lee, who spent years studying the Jew/Hoansi hunter-gatherers of the Kalahari Desert. He discovered something that shocked the modern economic world. These ancient-style humans did not struggle from dawn until dusk just to survive. They only spent about 15 to 20 hours a week procuring food and maintaining their camps. The rest of their time was spent resting, telling stories, playing music, and bonding with their loved ones. They enjoyed more leisure time than almost any worker in the modern 21st century. How did we convince ourselves that working 40, 50, or 60 hours a week under artificial lights is progress? Your brain evolved to operate within a specific psychological framework called the environment of evolutionary adaptiveness. This is a scientific term for the natural setting where your species spent hundreds of millennia refining its biology. In this ancient environment, stress was a highly functional, short-term survival tool. If a predator sprinted out from the tall savanna grass, your amygdala, the brain's emotional smoke detector, triggered an immediate flood of cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate spiked, your muscles tightened, and you either fought for your life or ran away. Within minutes, the threat was entirely gone. Either you survived and your stress levels dropped back to zero, or you died. Now, look at your modern life. Your corporate manager sends an ambiguous email on a Friday evening demanding a meeting for Monday morning. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a bad performance review and a lethal predator on the African savanna. It triggers the exact same evolutionary panic response, flooding your system with cortisol. But you cannot fight your computer screen, and you cannot run away from your office desk. So, that biological stress has nowhere to go. It sits inside your body, simmering for hours, days, and weeks on end. You are living with chronic, low-grade survival stress that your nervous system was never designed to handle. Is it any wonder that your mind feels entirely exhausted? This mismatch goes far deeper than just stress management. It cuts directly into the core of how humans find meaning. Anthropologist James Sussman has documented extensively how the transition from foraging to agriculture fundamentally warped the human psyche. Hunter-gatherers lived in what economists call an immediate return economy. When they felt hungry, they went out to hunt or gather, brought the food back, and consumed it almost immediately. Their effort was directly, tangibly linked to their survival reward. They lived completely in the present moment. Your life, however, is built on a delayed return economy. You labor for weeks at a computer, moving digital text around or taking phone calls, waiting for a direct deposit that will eventually clear so you can pay for a mortgage years into the future. Your brain struggles to find intrinsic meaning in these abstract, deeply disconnected tasks. This structural separation breeds a profound sense of alienation and purposelessness. You are constantly sacrificing your present happiness for a hypothetical future security, that never quite seems to arrive. To truly understand what we lost, you have to look at the archaeological evidence of ancient human connection. Consider the incredible discoveries at Blombos Cave in South Africa, dating back over 70,000 years. Researchers found beautifully engraved pieces of red ochre and delicate shell beads that had been carefully perforated. To create these items, an ancient human had to walk kilometers through an unforgiving wilderness just to collect the perfect shells. They spent hours sitting by a fire, meticulously drilling microscopic holes with crude stone tools, just to create a necklace. Why would someone fighting for survival waste precious energy on jewelry? They did it because social identity, beauty, and tribal belonging were matters of absolute psychological survival. In the deep past, isolation was an automatic death sentence. Your ancestors survived because they were completely embedded within a tight-knit band of roughly 30 to 50 people who knew them intimately from birth until death. They shared everything: food, childcare, grief, and laughter. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied the conversations of hunter-gatherers around nighttime campfires and found that up to 80% of their evening talk was dedicated to storytelling and myth-making. The campfire was a psychological processing zone where the entire tribe collective regulated their fears and strengthened their social bonds. Contrast that ancient warmth with the brutal isolation of the modern world. You can live in an apartment building surrounded by thousands of people and not know a single neighbor's name. You scroll through social media feeds, consuming a highly distorted simulation of human connection that leaves your brain feeling emptier than before. Your biology is screaming for the close-knit safety of a tribe, but the modern matrix offers you nothing but isolated cubicles and digital screens. We have traded genuine, soul-level community for superficial, algorithmic metrics.